Hey, Peter here. It's my vlog for this week, and lots happened this week. I've already put up a birthday video already this week, and I couldn't help it. It was just such a great day, and my mother-in-law was here, and we were having lots of fun, and I thought I would just share it with everyone. So that's, I'm wearing one of the tops I got for my birthday. It's really floaty and nice, and I really like it. Suits Australia at the moment. Yeah, we're in spring, and it's really hot, and yeah, I've got the sun shining on me through my window at the moment, and it's really warm. So, okay, had a couple of letter journals go through my desk this week, and just a tip for the collaborative pages. Great that everyone's now got the hang of doing collaborative pages, but can I just say that if you are the owner of your journal, can you please, as your minimum kind of thing of your collaborative pages, can you actually lay the backgrounds down? Like, the most important thing is, it's very hard for us to I got one where some elements were added onto plain white paper, and there was no background, and then I had to kind of mask areas off so that I preserved that person's work, and then paint around it, and then there were some that were too difficult to even use paint, so I had to use ink, which is all right, but it's much easier to have the background laid down, and then the other artists can add collaborative items on top of that laid down background. So that's probably the best way to work it, and not to leave white pages on those collaborative pages, unless of course you've got something that's a flip out and that's your part of the collaboration, or an envelope or tags, and then we decide to glue those in or something like that. But it just makes it much more difficult for someone, and not everybody's like really experienced in the way of layering for mixed media that participates in these, and I guess it's easier to really it's easier for the other participants if they can work on a background, or that's already been laid down, and then they've got something that they can move on from there. So just a tip, you know, that if you're the owner of the journal, you should think about laying down those backgrounds or write instructions about it, and make sure that you follow the checklist, because there's been one or two people that have kind of put the post-it notes in their letter journals, which is great, but what they've basically said is, don't want to follow the rules, just do what you want. And I'm kind of like, no, the checklist is there so that it's fair for everybody, and you know, you have to do your double spread before you go out, before you send it out and start those collaborative pages, and it's up to you to set the tone of your letter journal. So I know one of my mentors said she's got a themed one going around, so she's doing one with music, and that's her theme, and everything in that journal is all about that, and I think that's really, really cool. So if you can set the tone and the theme of your journal. You don't have to have it as random, and if you've got an idea that you want to explore and see how everybody interprets that idea, set a theme. It's a great idea. Yeah, I really like it. So I finally got, just before my birthday, my Stampotique stamps. So I have quite a few of them, and they're just like ultra gorgeous. And I tell you what, I love Daniel Torrent. Don't know if it's Torrent or Torrent, but I think it's Torrent. And what I've set up, and what I will be doing in the next couple of months, is setting up an account for Stampotique stamps in Australia. So if you really like these stamps, like I do, like they are really, really original, done by original artists. The only thing with Stampotique stamps is that I actually had to wait 6 weeks before I got them. So when I put a wholesale order in, I will order the stock, and then I will only stock what I have in stock. And after that, as my stocks get low, depending on how popular these stamps are, I will then be putting an order in, but be mindful that if I say that I'm out of stock, it will be 6 weeks from the time I order until I get it, even with wholesale orders. Because the thing that I like about Stampatique is that it's a little home-based business in the States, and they have artists that are on their design team, and they hand make all their stamps, and they hand die cut them, and they're great with their stamps. Are really, really, really good quality, and one of the reasons they do that is they quality control every single stamp that they get. And having used them, absolutely in love with them. Can't wait to use them more. You'll see them in my work featuring coming up, because I don't know about you, but there's something just creepily and alluring about Daniel Torrance scribbly stamps. I love them. Absolutely love his design. But there's heaps of other designers on there as well, so go have a look. Stampatique, they're great. But if you're ordering from overseas, be aware, extra postage take a really, really, really long time. So I will be offering them in my shop shortly, and then you will be able to, when I get my shop up, you'll be able to buy them. So it's one of those flagship products that I'm kind of, because I think there's one other place in Australia that you can get them, but the majority of those, when I went and had a look at their site, were out of stock. And now, or it's got place an order. Now, you know, if you click on that and you place an order, if they wait to make their order, and then it's like 6 weeks until you get it. So at least with mine, you know, if I've got it in stock, you'll get it pretty straight away, and then there'll be notes on there saying how long it will be until I get the next lot in. So that's the way I want to run it, as a niche kind of business that has things that are hard to get over here, and that mixed media artists really particularly love and want to use in their art. I have been working pretty hard this week, I tell you. I just had the gratitude canvas workshop. Oh my goodness, that was massive. It was a massive workshop, and I had 14 people there, and 10 of those people had not painted before. So we were making a canvas like this, right, by people that knew nothing about mixed media and didn't know how to paint. So they didn't know how to blend colours, didn't know anything about colour matching or tones, or how to craft. The whole thing was, how do you craft something that has great composition and, you know, fluidity. And, you know, like I was talking to my friend Gina just yesterday, and she was saying to me that she started to do one of these canvases as well, and she got the idea that it's actually a lot harder than what she thought, and would have really appreciated me doing a course on it. So that's penciled in on my list of things to do. I'll be doing a course on 3D dimensional canvases sometime soon, and I'll need to film that, create one, and that will be online within the next couple of months. But it's definitely something that I'm going to do, because I've had lots and lots and lots of, I've got classes booked from that class, and things are hotting up, so it's pretty cool. It was a big success. Nobody produced something ugly. Everybody produced something that they would be happy to hang on their wall, or they just need to do a few things to finish it, and then it will be ready to hang on the wall. Because there were some people that had some really, really cool ideas, but they didn't have the time to finish that at the workshop. But it went for really good. I was really exhausted for like 2.5 days after it, and it was a big thing. So now I'm keeping my class sizes much smaller so that I can give better attention and really teach those people. And you, as a teacher, you really want to give great tuition when you're teaching artistic techniques. which is a lot of what I teach, and I just think that's really cool. I'm also looking at community grants for being able to do this as a workshop for those that in the community that probably couldn't afford to attend classes like what I run, and apply for a community grant to start those workshops going. And I love that idea. I just think that that is an awesome idea, to be able to give back something and still be able to fund it. I love that. So I'm going to have a look into that as well. I've done a grant writing course, and I've got a friend of mine who's done quite a lot of them. So I'm going to talk to her a little bit more about it and see if we can get some grants in for doing something like that, and really get that project kick-started off, because I love being able to give something back. But also it then, you know, promotes me as an artist, and, you know, I just think that's awesome. That all round you give something back, and you allow people to create something beautiful for themselves and get in touch with their creative side, which a lot of them maybe want to do, but they don't have the opportunity or the means to do it. And I like that idea. The other thing that I've been working on this week is I've had a few of my viewers that ask me particular technique questions, or they want to know about a particular product. I know on Crazy Island Family this week something about what do I do for shiny stuff. So I've got some shiny magazines and stuff, and what should I use to prep it that won't kind of scratch off or flake off, or, you know, do something like that. And I have decided to do a Friday spot, but it will come out on Friday in Australia, not Friday in the States. So the States, you get it early, lucky for you. So for you it will be Thursday, but in Australia it's Technique Friday. And every Friday I will have between 5 and 15 minutes of a technique. So the first one is on paintbrushes, because I had a viewer ask me a question about paintbrushes. She didn't know what all the paintbrushes were and what they were used for. And she also wondered whether she was buying the right paintbrushes for what she did. So I've done a very basic paintbrush tutorial about all the different types of brushes and what their actual uses are for, and that's pretty cool. Like, and that's the first one. And so the next one, I've got already a whole bunch of questions from viewers. So I've got a few scheduled already. I haven't taped them all, but I've got them scheduled. But if you have a question and you want me to demonstrate something, or you want me to talk to you and educate you about something, then just ask me a question or put a suggestion in the comments on this video or on the Techniques Friday videos. And I've got a new playlist that I've started, which will be Technique Friday, and that will be purely about tips, tricks, products, reviews, book reviews, anything that you want to know about art journaling and mixed media art, that'll be in there. So it's not a place where I do teaching per se, but it's where I just educate, and you give a little bit of an insight into some different products and why I like them and why I don't like them, why maybe I don't like something, and what I recommend, and the sort of processes around why I do things the way I do, and why I lay down paint in layers, or what sort of products I use underneath and what I use on top, and you know how it all works and the chemical nature of things and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool, and I'll watch it tomorrow when it comes out, because the first one I just filmed it and it looks pretty good. Yeah. So this week it's like been full on. I mean, just with business and everything else that's been going on. Had a really awesome time this week with singing and catching up with friends, and I've done a lot of Skyping this week. A lot of my overseas friends Skyped to me for my birthday, so I was basically on Skype or the phone from like 6:30 in the morning until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which was like so awesome. Like, I can't tell you how loved I felt on that day. Like, this time last year I got my cat for my birthday present, and one of the reasons I wanted to get a cat was I had friends and they were good friends and I love them dearly, but my days were really, really quiet, and I found myself often even getting lonely, and I just realised that 12 months has made a massive difference in my life, and I laugh a lot more and I smile a lot more, and I just my life is completely different to what it was 12 months ago. It's just one of those things where you kind of go, wow, when you look back and you see the journey that you've walked, I don't regret any of my journey, but I can tell you that where I am right now is where I want to be, and I love it, and I think it's great, and I just have the best time. I have a raft of beautiful friends, and I can't tell you how much I am grateful for those friends, and you guys form part of that whole community, you know, and that gives me great purpose and reason to go out and do and be the best that I can be. Because when you get encouragement from other people, and this is like true for anyone, right, doing anything, it's not just art and it's not just craft or anything like that. It's all about, you know, if you want to be the best you can be, you actually have to work at it, but encouragement from others plays a really big part in, I guess, how quickly you get there, or your motivations for that journey. Because of course we can do it on our own, but isn't it better when you've got a cheer squad? So I think it is. I love it. And I have finally just found my niche, and I love that about where I am right now in my life. And you know, we all have challenges, but we, I guess, get through it, and we get through it with great support from friends. We really do. So there was India night. So, you know, you guys have been so generous buying my chicken cards, and some of you bought my prints, and I've been able to raise over $500 so far. So that's 100 chickens. That's a massive, massive gift. But we had India night, and I was on the chicken table. Yay. And like there was like Indian singing and Indian dancing, and it was just Indian cooking, and we made like chats, and there was all these magnificent women wearing saris, and it was just pretty awesome. I didn't get to wear a sari. I actually used to own a sari, but it was like years and years and years ago when a friend of mine went to India, and they just brought me back like a cheap, really, really cheap sari. But I mean, I converted that fabric into something else many, many years ago, and that was the end of that. So I haven't been to India yet, but I plan to in the future at some point. But so far, the overall target is $10,000, and we've raised $7,500 so far. So we've got 2.5 to go. So those of you that maybe haven't looked at my chicken cards, or haven't, here we go, just quickly. So I'll show you. So these are the original paintings, and these are actually for sale too. They're on my WordPress site, so missladypetal.com. These are actually on sale for $120 each, and these are the original watercolor paintings, and they're framed, and I've had them professionally framed, so they're just gorgeous. This is Boris, and all the chicken cards are based on these paintings, and the prints are exact replicas, and they've been done by a very reputable printing company, and I've been sending them out all over the country in Australia and overseas. The prints are in limited supply. There's a limited edition set of 20 of each print. So if you want your prints, you can go to my Etsy store, Missladypetal Creations, and I'll put the links to those in this video. But as you can see, we are getting there. Just imagine, like, divide $7,500 by 5, and we're hoping to send that money over to India by mid-November. So, you know, I'll still be raising money after that, because we have a perpetual fund that we keep going, and often closer to Christmas there are people in dire straits and need over there, and so if they need, you know, more money for blankets or for more chickens or roofs for churches and things like that, that's where that money goes to. So I'm really excited about that. So for all of you that have bought my chicken cards and have bought chicken products, you know that that's part of an overall huge big fundraising effort, and I'm really proud of the effort that everybody's put in. I love it, and keep supporting the cause. You know, we're $2,500 short of our overall target, and we haven't got there yet, but praise God, we are really, really close, and that is really cool. I can't tell you how much I love that. The idea that I've been a part of something that, you know, increases the life expectancy and the independence of women. And there was a story that was shared on the night that one of the widows, and we won't name her, one of the widows actually that was given chickens 2 years ago. So since she was given 2 chickens 2 years ago, she now has a flock of 10. She sold 20 chickens, and she's had 7 chicken dinners. Now 7 chicken dinners, chicken is so rare to have over there, and it's like us going to a fine restaurant and spending like $150 on a meal. That's kind of the equivalent. But she immediately, the report is that her health immediately improved, and she felt stronger, and she had chicks within a couple of months, and she was able to then keep some of those for her flock, and she is now completely self-sufficient with that flock of 10. That is enough for her not to have to go out into the fields and do back-breaking work for the equivalent of 50 cents a day. And we've been able to improve her lifestyle so that she can feed and clothe herself, which is amazing. And so that's the sort of project that I'm involved in, and that's why I painted those chickens, and that's why I'm putting myself out there to sell chicken cards, to help a woman like that to go from being abjectly poor and on the street, living on the street. This particular lady was living on the street, had no home. Now she's able to fund a little mud walled home. She puts her chickens inside with her at night, and she is able to exchange her chickens and eggs for produce to have a more balanced diet. And you know, that flock's growing, and that's in 2 years her life has changed in a massive way. So that's what I'm all for. Helping women to become more, helping people to become more self-sufficient and get themselves out of poverty and into some sort of comfort. And for her, that's a comfortable lifestyle. That's not what we would consider a comfortable lifestyle, but she's now self-sufficient and having a comfortable lifestyle, and that was from the gift of 2 chickens 2 years ago. So this is the prospect that we give every widow who receives a couple of chickens. They have the ability to go and do that. Yeah. And let me just say, like, chickens are really expensive. So when they work in the fields, if they were to work in the fields, they would have to save up all their wages and not eat for a month to get 1 chicken. So that's the value of the gift. The gift is worth an awful lot of money to them, and it's worth it's worth 2 months' wages all up, with them doing back-breaking work and not eating at all. So it's not money they've got left over, that's all their money that they have. So if you think about the sort of wages that we get, and then, you know, say you get paid $500 a week, that means that the price of that gift is worth $2,000 for the first chicken and $2,000 for the second chicken in the equivalent. So think about what the actual value that that gift is. And these chicken cards and stuff, I mean, they were running out the door, and they're there, and they're going to pop them in Christmas cards this year, and they're going to make gift cards out of them, and they're going to pop them in their wallets, and they, you know, and some of them bought a whole raft of them, and then they're going to want to sell some of them, and then they're going to donate that money back, and so they will, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. So I just think that's an amazing thing to do, and if you can do that, there's plenty left on my Etsy store. And you know what? If I run out, I'll print more. That's how strongly I feel about this project. So that's it for me this week. Learn something new today. Keeps you young. And go and help someone else today. Whether it's a kind word or a kind deed, do that. Because I tell you what, that's what makes the world go round. Ciao for now.